Hey, welcome back to the Fits Drive channel. So we're doing another build video today. We'll be modifying this Dragonox Cigar 36. It's kind of a rare model. It's actually currently it's also been discontinued. So this is an 85mm Swiss Army knife. You can tell a lot by the shape of it, but also the size as well. All right, so this has basically to start with, it has the original Dragonox knife, has the nail file right here, and then you have the actual cigar cutter, which again is kind of a unique tool. I'm not sure exactly what you'd use it for if you don't smoke cigars. I think in the last video I did where I showed a knife like this, I think I asked you guys already what you'd use it for. I think some people mentioned cutting like garden hoses or something like that. Fortunately, nobody mentioned like torture. So anyways, we're going to be modifying this. So what we're going to be doing, of course, we're going to be adding some titanium scales. And now, when I ordered these, and the picture did not show the Dragonox logo, and so then they sent it, it has that on there. And so Dragonox, don't get mad at me. I did not request that, they did that themselves. All right, so we're also going to be adding a Spyderco blade. So kind of our go-to for most of these modifications, of course, is the Spyderco Dragonfly blade. Now, this is not the only Spyderco blade that I use, or that I can use. I've never tried any other ones in the 85mm, but as far as just customizing goes, I've used the Spyderco Rody blade, Ladybug, the Bird Robin, and so there's some other ones out there. All right, also with these scales, you can see we're going to be doing some external peening, and so along with the scales, they sent some brass rods, and so that'd be kind of interesting, maybe something new for you guys to see, doing some external peening, and also we're going to be flaming these, and so make them a bit darker than they are at the moment, which might be interesting, seeing how the titanium is super thin. Not sure how well that's going to hold up to the high heat of flaming. All right, and we're also going to be adding some other tools to this as well, kind of expanding on the size of the knife itself. So don't pay attention to my really messy drawer here. All right, so we're going to be adding some pliers. Fortunately, I attached the spring to that. I don't use the 85mm very often, and so I might have to swap out the springs to make sure I have the right one. I think these match the scissors. I'm not sure exactly. All right, and then also we're gonna need the can, the bottle opener. Be adding them as well. And same thing there. I'm pretty sure this is what I need for that. So can opener, bottle opener, and then I think that should be it. We'll also be changing out the corkscrew for a Phillips. I'll do that here in a bit as well. All right, so the basic concept here, we'll be adding the Dragonfly blade. That's going to be replacing the original blade there. Of course, we'll be keeping this cigar cutter. Adding the pliers, adding the scissors. These are all taped up. Got a rubber band on them. All right, so that goes there. And then we'll be adding these. All right, this is also going to need, I think it takes a reamer, all right there. So it should also be inside this box somewhere, unless it's the same. I'll try this because it might be the same as the 91mm. So I'll grab one of these right here. Of course, that's an old one. We'll swap that out here in a bit. Anyways, got the reamer there for that. So that's basically it. I will be using some of these liners here. Again, I'll have to test these, make sure which one goes to what. But I think on the 85mm, they're mostly identical. So we need a couple of these is all. And actually, we're going to be using those just as basically sizes. Be cutting the actual liners out of black G10. And so I think it's going to be pretty cool. Basically, we're going to be acid etching these tools. And so you guys get to see the acid etching process. Be redoing this Dragonfly blade. You guys get to see that. Making the black G10, flaming the titanium. So this should definitely be a very interesting build. So let's go and we'll dive right in. Alright, so we're going to be using a 2.5 millimeter drill bit on all 4 of these pins. On the 85 millimeter, all 4 pins are the exact same size. Also, this little block here, it's kind of set up for disassembling Swiss Army knives. I intentionally set up for the 91 millimeter. But anyways, this was given to me by one of my subscribers, and so definitely really cool. And make sure you don't miss this little metal pin here. Important. Alright, so here's going to be the basic setup. So the layout we're going to use. So all the tools basically here are from 85 millimeter sacks, some different models. The only thing we have to be modifying is going to be the Dragonfly blade. So we're going to modify this pivot bore right here, take that down to 2.5 millimeters. And then we'll use the original blade. So it's kind of roughly, basically what we're going to do. Kind of line this up, and we'll put a mark to where we need to grind off to. And so we want to keep the basic same shape, simply because that way it's going to work friendly with the nail file over here. So take that out. And then for the blade, what we'll do is we'll reshape this roughly to this shape right here. So kind of roughly that's what we're going to do. Of course, what we'll do is we'll actually be grinding out this, and we'll be testing to see how it fits, and taking it down basically as we go. That's the basic concept for the modification here, and so let's go ahead and we'll start with that. Alright, so next thing we'll do is we're going to take these and we'll cut the G10. Make the G10 liners. Alright, so here's how the titanium scales turned out. I must say, I think probably because these are such thin titanium, these are probably the darkest titanium I've ever been able to do. And that turned out like super dark. Usually it's more like a dark gray, whereas these literally came out almost black. So definitely really cool. Pleased with how that turned out. Right, so next thing up, we'll go ahead and we'll paint basically this section right here, the pivoting area. We'll use some fingernail polish just to make sure that when we etch this, do the acid etching to make sure that that does not affect the pivoting area, and otherwise what it can do is actually make it where the tools don't snap. Alright, so here we have the ferric chloride, and I've warmed this up just a bit. Kind of helps with the acid etching. So what we'll do is just hang these off this strings right here, and submerge this into the acid. Over here on the left, you see I have some water. We're using that to rinse in between etching. It's just over 2 minutes. You see that's how that looks. We're gonna do just kind of rinse off, get rid of this top layer. Alright, so there it is. Might do a third dip in the acid just to get it a bit darker. I'll go ahead and do that off camera along with the rest of the tools and show you guys how it looks. Alright, so for this we're doing the stone wash. See, I just got some stones in here. We're doing this by hand because that way I can get a better controlled pattern. Alright, so that is more the stone wash pattern that we're looking for right there. Alright, so here's all the tools after acid etching and after doing the stone wash. Let's go ahead and I'll lay these out in the appropriate order. Alright, so last thing we need to do now is we're going to take these pins and we will go basically create the first original shape. We'll be using the scale to kind of get an example of that. All right, so for the scissors, we're going to use a different spring. I accidentally started with the wrong one. See, the main difference will be right here at the top. This one's flat, this one sticks up a bit. It does help us make sure that the scissors stand up high enough to where they're accessible. All right, so I'm going to cut off this fourth pin right here, down at the liner, because it will not be fitting into the scale. We'll put the last scale on, the side on, and then we'll cut these down to the right size. All right, so you can see here, cut off that brass pin right there. So once again, it's not weight bearing. It's just going to make sure that the first and last spring don't hop out of place. Put the last scale on. Then we'll also have to cut the pins down to the necessary size, which I'll probably do that again off camera. Alright, so I got those pins cut off, and I was doing one final check over all the tools before I pin this shut, and I noticed a big mistake that I've made. If you guys noticed before I noticed it, let me know in the comments. You can see the mistake here. I have the keychain loop right here, and I have it right here as well. Plus, this aluminum space right here is really an eyesore on a blacked out knife. This bright silver space right there really does bother me. And so what we're gonna do, take this back apart. I'll take this out. I'll make this out of some G10. So this is 1.4 millimeters. And so what I'll do is I'll make it out of probably 2 pieces of 0.7 millimeter liners. And then basically we'll replace that. And of course we'll get rid of this unnecessary spacer. All right, so here's the piece I made. So basically this is the aluminum piece, the original one. So I made this. Based out of 2 pieces of 0.7 millimeter G10, since this is 1.4. And then so the two that I glued together comes up to also 1.4. It's come to 1.4, 1.5, but it's going to be insignificant. So anyways, you can see, actually just the opposite, you can't see. What I did is I've glued 2 pieces together and make them one solid piece. And so that's going to take care of the awkward aluminum. Alright, so that looks much nicer there with the black G10. So that silver piece. Alright, and this is what it looks like after the brass has been cut. You see I've left just like a millimeter over the thickness of the scale right here. So we'll go ahead and take this outside now and we'll peen it shut. It's basically a done project. Alright, and we are done with this knife. Definitely think it turned out great. Love the dark titanium. Like I said, the scales really turned out even maybe darker than what they usually turn out. Alright, so Dragonfly blade. See how it looks after sharpening. Got a nice good edge on it. Nail file. Still got some good action there. So the cigar cutter, definitely a super unique tool. I've been asked several times if I could fit this into a 91 millimeter. Unfortunately, I can't. I have actually tried, and it won't fit in there just because the pin location and everything gets in the way. So the Evo series uses the winger style tools, and so the pliers you can see are double jawed. So if you need a larger bite, you can do that. Definitely really cool. I actually really like the spring setting, or system, shall I say, on the winger style tools. How it actually uses the actual spring of the tool back here to give the tool the action that it needs. So definitely really cool. All right, you have the can, the bottle openers. All right, and then got the all here in the back. So that is it for this build. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you enjoyed that build video, getting to see how we flamed the titanium, acid etched the tools, made the G10 liners, and just the overall Spidernox basically installation into that, adding that Spyderco blade. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give the channel some love, and I'll see you guys next time.